Y'all must have thought that I was going to make you wait until the end to drop this. But I thought about it and I was like, I'm not going to do that to my people. Can't do it to my people. I know y'all are interested and you want to know my thoughts. You want to know what I'm thinking when it comes to the Indiana Fever. I have been very, very clear that they are the number one team in the WNBA, in my opinion. And there are people that think that's crazy. There are people that, I don't know, think that they're not even a top three team in the WNBA, despite the fact that all the bookmakers have them in the top three for the WNBA championship. Yet there's national media who put them at number six, despite the fact they've made more moves than anyone in the WNBA largely to improve their team. You have growth with the younger players. You have growth from Caitlin Clark. You've got Kelsey Mitchell having a year played with Caitlin. You have Aaliyah Boston having played a year with Caitlin. Now, one can only hope that that continues to be to grow, that relationship and that on-court chemistry continues to grow. And then, of course, you have all of the additions to the team that you had. And let's talk about everything that popped off with Indiana this year. And we'll give you our commentary on the Indiana Fever for 2025. Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Rudy's Rant. Her game, her way, women's basketball. We're talking facts over feelings here. I am your host, Rudy Rodriguez Showmont. Appreciate y'all continuing support of this channel. If you haven't done so yet, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, and leave a comment. The comments are what make us go. I appreciate views. I want views. I love views. I need more subscribers to grow this platform. But those comments are really, I will engage with you with the comments. I mean, I think you know that by now. We don't have to agree. I mean, it's all love. But leave a comment. Let me know what you think. So let's talk about this. Let us share this roster so that there's no confusion here. Mm. Oh, I didn't realize. Let me change this. Boom. Change that. All right. Let's look at this roster. I am still trying to get to a game this year. I'd love to. I really would. I don't know, man. It's hard. Her tickets, these tickets to Indiana games just cost so much damn money. Seriously. Like, it's hard to justify paying certain amounts of money for tickets. Like, I don't know. It's rough. It's a rough go. Because I don't pay that type of money for heat tickets, and it's the NBA. And yeah, so we'll see about that. Still trying to figure out what day will work for me, if it's even possible, because I do have a family and I got kids and the whole nine, blase, blase. But nonetheless, let's look at this roster. We got Kelsey Mitchell, obviously, averaged 19.2 points per game last season, had the best season of her career, most efficient season of her career. She really started to gel very, very well with Caitlin Clark. I mean, early on, I wondered if she was working against Caitlin Clark last year. It was like she never passed the ball. Like, the ball would get passed to her, and you would never see that ball again flip back over to Caitlin. So it was one of those things where you're watching it, and you're like, why does she never pass the ball back? You guys are teammates. It's not just about you always taking every shot that you got. She's never seen a shot she doesn't like, and that's always the biggest concern with someone like Kelsey Mitchell. She's a volume player, but a volume player who did shoot last year with incredible efficiency, which is a big, big thing. Now, obviously, she's on this team. Natasha Howard, you brought her over from Dallas. She averaged almost 18 a game and 7 rebounds. Health is critical for Natasha Howard. She's got to be healthy. If she's not healthy, that's a problem for Indiana. Health, health, health. That's really what it comes down to with her. Aaliyah Boston, averaging 14 and 9 last year. She took a step back. She took a step back. People don't want to acknowledge it. She took a step back. You just have to look at what happened. You know, her shooting percentage went down. Finishing on the basket, not that great. She had a stretch where she was really, really good, and then she had a stretch where she was really, really not very good. So, I've been very vocal about my opinion on Aaliyah Boston and her conditioning and her cardio and her getting in shape and losing weight and all that stuff. It's not to be mean. It's not for any of that. It's just it's reality. She needs to get her shit together when it comes to this. Like it's not that complicated in my opinion. You know what I mean? It is one of those things where you sit here and you say, yo, you got one job. That job is to get in shape. It's just that simple. It is just that simple. Be in shape, run the floor, and run it hard. I don't want to see her picking and popping for 17, 18, 20 footers. I don't want to see that. That's not her role. And it seems like all these players nowadays are trying so very hard to become they're trying so very hard to become shooters. Everyone wants to be a shooter. Like, bro, you're not a shooter just because you're a human and you can actually physically shoot the ball doesn't make you a shooter. Like, stop watching the NBA players. Watching the NBA basketball might be the worst thing that that women can do or that younger players can do. Like, you learn everything about bad habits, bad habits, bad habits, bad habits. That's all you get watching the women. Watching the NBA right now. You watch all these bad habits. And sometimes I think the women watch bad habits too. I really do. Because why are you kicking out for threes or you're not a 3-point shooter? Why are you picking and popping to a three? It makes no sense. I only want to see her roll now. She needs to set screens that are solid. Like you got to get in the habit of running off the screen tight, setting the screen tight, then rolling. You can't roll before the screen. Yes, at times there is a slip screen for sure. Sometimes it's there, but that's after you've run effective screens that you can run a slip screen. You can't run a slip screen before you run an effective real screen. Because if you're running slip screens all game, they're going to know you're just going to slip to the rim every fucking time. They're going to know it. And it's basic, but her improvement and her growth is critical to Indiana's success this year. It might be the most important piece to success for Indiana. 8.9 rebounds. I think she should be averaging a double-double. I think she should be averaging 16 and 10 and shooting 58 to 60% from the field. This is my feeling that's absolutely essential and vital to Indiana, especially in the post, where they really aren't tremendously deep. You added Sophie Cunningham, average 8.5 a game. People have this belief that she's going to be some tough, fiery individual. I hope she is. It's like she's like there's almost this view of her being an enforcer. Like, oh, okay, if you think so, great, wonderful. I hope that's what she becomes. I think she's going to be a spark plug off the bench for this team, and is a great addition. Now and that's now where you look at the situation with Lexi Hull, where they're both basically the same type of player, except Sophie Cunningham's a better version of Lexi Hull. And at some point, we'll have this conversation on this video about my opinion on whether or not Lexi Hull could be traded or not, or should be traded or not. Again, I look at it from a different point of view than some of y'all look at it from. I look at it from a business perspective and how front offices must run franchises. So we will get into that. So you have two fairly similar players in Cunningham and Hull. Cunningham is absolutely the tougher, more spirited, more vocal of the two. Both of them are 6'1", probably 160 or so, 150, 160, slim women. Hull obviously has that ability to shoot the ball and spot up in the corners, which she did very, very well last year. Is that an outlier, or will that be the norm? Is she going to be hitting at that type of rate? My guess is probably not. Shooting 47% from three is damn near impossible on a consistent basis. But who knows? Maybe I'll be proven wrong, and she will do it again. That is if she's on this team. Brianna Turner, she's brought in. She's a backup, obviously, a rim runner. Going to bring a physical presence, a vet presence. How much playing time she gets, I think, largely revolves around what Aaliyah Boston does. The the worse Aaliyah Boston plays, the more playing time Brianna Turner will get. Otherwise, I look at Turner as someone who might play 10 minutes a game, if that. Damaris Dantes, I've seen pictures of her where she looks absolutely yoked. Um, she provides that 3-point shooting from the perimeter. If she really it looks as yoked as she looks in these photos that they've been hitting the waves on her, and she's in legitimate shape, that's serious. That's a huge thing for the Fever, which would provide her, she might be the first big off the bench realistically. And then you look at Jillian Aline. I don't know that Jillian Aline will even make this team, honestly. We'll see. Yvonne Ejim, their third round pick. Will she make the team? Probably not. Although she was 21 and 10 at Gonzaga. Jalen Brown's another one. Will she make this team? Remains to be seen. Michaela Timpson was their steal in the second round of this draft. Timpson is long, lanky, strong, block shots, rebounds, scores. I mean, she does it all. I think she's going to be in the rotation. I think she's going to be someone that's coming off the bench and playing real minutes. She could find herself playing starter minutes depending on what's going on with her and or Natasha Howard. Who knows? There could be times where they may run her with Howard and Bonner and just want to run and run and run, and have Boston on the bench. That's a possibility. I mean, 6'10" wingspan, long arms. I think it's a big time. That was a big get for Indiana in the draft. Said before, it was a major, major coup to get her. A major steal. Of course, you got Caitlin. You don't need to say much about Caitlin. Obviously, she is who she is. She is, in my opinion, the best player in the WNBA. Rookie of the year, set all kinds of records and firsts in so many categories. I expect her shooting percentage to go up. I expect her 3-point shooting percentage to go up. I expect her to take more shots this season. I think that she's going to jump from 19.2 to probably 23 to 25, probably more like around 25 points per game. I think you're going to see her 8.4 assists jump to probably 11. And I know that sounds like a crazy number, but when you consider the fact that she's got weapons all over the floor and the pace that I expect them to play at, you're not going to there's if Stephanie White slows this ball down, then Stephanie White should be fired on day one. I'm serious. I'm dead ass serious. My whole expectation is that Stephanie White plays the players in the way that would benefit winning. And what is that? To me, that's running that damn ball up and down the floor. It's 40 minutes of hell. It is the greatest show on turf in football where you're just chucking it down the floor. You're going up and down, up and down. Defense is not specific to defense for this team will not be about points allowed. It's going to be about how many points per possession. For how many points will they score per 100 possessions? So because the pace is going to be fast, to me, they're going to score more points. I mean, Indiana averaged around 80, mid 80s last past year. From the field, they probably what they average, what they score per game. Indiana. They averaged 85 points per game. That was third in the league. They gave up 87.7 points per game. See, I realistically would not be shocked, and that's 11th. Their defense rating was 11th out of 12 last year. It was terrible. But when you look at it, when you look at how they should play this season, you're looking at a team that should be fucking breaknecking this thing up and down the floor. I mean, just going, going, going. So if they give up 87.7 points per game this season, but I'm expecting that 85 to look like 98. Like I'm really expecting that 85 to be in the mid 90s and higher. That's where I expect them to be scoring at on a consistent basis. It wouldn't shock me to watch them break 100 points in regulation games if they play the way they should play. It's just that simple. Play the way you're supposed to play, and you're going to see yourself score a lot of points. It's very, very simple. And that's starting with obviously stop, rebound, kick, Boom. And even on makes, like they shouldn't just be running on make misses. They should run on makes and misses. They should run, run, run. And Caitlin Clark will be the reason that they do that. So that's just my thought on that. Bree Hall, this is the argument people are going to have. I do believe this, and whether you don't believe it or not, that's on you. I believe this. This is my feeling. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to get all hot and emotional. If Bree Hall is the equivalent to Lexi Hall in camp, Bree Hall makes the team, Lexi Hall gets traded. That's my feeling. If Bree Hall's not, then that's a different story. But I'm saying this from a perspective of why would you draft a player like this when you've got two of them, maybe three of them that are on the floor that are very, very similar. You got Cunningham, you got Hull, and I mean, heck, you got Jalen Brown, who's 6'1", same. You drafted Yvonne Ejim, who's 6'1". So I don't think she'll make the team. It's like how many 6'1" players who play on the wing are you going to have on your team? And while Ejim didn't play on the wing as much in Gonzaga, you're looking at players like it has to make sense. It has to make sense. And when I look at, obviously, I've already said it. I think Homegirl is better than, I think Cunningham's better than Hull. Like, and I don't think there's anyone that's going to argue that she's better than Hull, right? So if you're not going to argue that, then what exactly are you going to argue? What exactly? Why would you? You're not going to argue that Cunningham's better than Hull, right? Cunningham's better than Hull. So now we're having this conversation about Hull and Hull. That's it. If Hull is good and outplays Hull in camp, maybe they keep them both. But I have a hard time believing that's going to happen. And you got to get out of your feelings about, oh, she's friends with Caitlin Clark. Oh, my God. Gives a shit, man. These people will be friends when they play with each other, when they don't. If she got traded, would you lose 1 ounce of sleep when she's playing for the other team and you're playing her and you're saying, oh, you better bust Lexi Hull's ass, right? That's what you'll be saying if you're a fan of the Fever. Like, I'm a fan of, like, in women's basketball, yeah, I admit I'm a Caitlin fan. You weren't a Hull fan. You were a Caitlin fan. And you saw Hull and you're like, oh, yeah, they're besties. They hang out. They go to Mexico together. They have fun together. Blase, blase. Oh, you find Hull cute and attractive. Great. You love her now because of that. If she was ugly, would you dislike her? I mean, I don't know. You tell me. But that's like the type of commentary that I get over and over and over again. If Bree Hall plays better in camp than Lexi Hall, Bree Hall will make the team and Lexi Hall might get traded. I would trade her if that was the case. I would never cut her. I don't think you cut her. I think you have to look at trading her. Again, why? Because now you'll have Bree Hall under a 4-year contract or 3 years with an option at a much cheaper rate, which you're going to have now for Aaliyah Boston for at least 1 more season and Caitlin for 2 more seasons. You need players, man. The damn freaking cap is going to change. You're going to need players. And yes, I've brought up, are you going to pay Lexi $150,000 to $200,000 a year to play in the WNBA? People say, well, why would you pay her that? Because that's what the market will command. Because you've built her up to be this great thing. Understand that when you build someone up, their market grows. Even if her numbers were whatever, the fan base of Indiana has this love affair with her. Her market has grown. Her market grew and unrivaled, even though she was terrible in it. Her market grew. Her market grew. I'm telling you right now, she's been commanding double her salary for sure. Are you going to pay her that? And anyone that says, oh, well, it's about money they can pay. It's not about how much money the team makes, folks. It's about the cap. It's about the cap. Are you going to commit 3 years or 2, 3, 4 years to Lexi Hull at 150 to 200,000 a season? No, you're not. These numbers sound so small, right? I get it. You're thinking about the NBA. The cap for women's basketball is like 1.3 million, something like that. It's ridiculously low. It'll be a little higher. How much higher? I have no idea. So yeah, I still think what I think on that, and I think it's a major possibility. But if Hull outplays Hall, then Hall will get cut. DeWanna Bonner. Obviously, she's gonna be a major part of this team. Her leadership is gonna be really critical to this team. 15.6 rebounds. I mean, she still plays at an all-star level. She's tall, she's wiry, she's lanky. She causes problems in the passing game. Um, Good player, man. Good player. Some people talk about, like I said, when you talk about this team, you're looking at how many points this roster added. Whether it's Bonner and Howard alone, I don't think they're going to average 15 and 18, but that's 33 points additional to that on your team that wasn't there last year. That wasn't there. Like you think of the players they lost, like they lost nothing. Katie Lou Samuelson, Erica Wheeler. I mean, really? They lost nothing. Temni Benley. Oh Lord, they lost nothing. They gained and gained and gained. DeWanna Bonner's gonna be a major part of this team, and then of course the last player is Sydney Colson. Sydney Colson, I don't know, man. She's major role player, major role. She may have games where she doesn't get on the court. It's a possibility, or she could play the role of Erica Wheeler did last year, play 5 minutes, 6 minutes a game. You're not gonna get a whole lot out of her, but a pesky person defensively and someone who's gonna make it difficult for the other team. That's what you want. If she gets a few buckets here and there, that's an advantage. I would tell you this: this is a team with a very deep roster. I mean, you got 1, 2, 3, 4. That's automatic. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think you got 10 locked in spots. I think you got 10 locked in spots. And I think you have a few players fighting for spots. I mean, there's 12 spots on the roster, and people have been telling me, "Oh, they can only have 11." Whatever. Unless you can show me why they can only have 11. Maybe say it's salary cap. See, then you argue. Then you tell me it's salary cap, but then you're arguing against a younger player locked into a contract. I don't want to hear that they're so friendly that they can't separate that Caitlin Clark can't play with other players. Like, stop. Come on. Just doesn't make sense. This is bad. This is sports. This is business. Stop getting all caught up in your feelings about players that are on your team who are role players. Role players. I get it. If the conversation was talking about someone talking about trading Caitlin Clark, I get it. I even get it when people get upset about the Aaliyah Boston because some of y'all love Aaliyah Boston. That's fine and dandy. I think she's tradable. I really do. I only think there's two players on this team that you would definitely not trade. It's Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell. That's it. Everybody else can be dealt. That's my feeling. Those are the two players that you would not trade. You would not trade them. And that is my opinion on that. And whether you agree with me or disagree with me, I would not. Those would be the two I would never consider trade. Not right now. Caitlin never ever. Caitlin never ever ever. Kelsey Mitchell right now, not even a conversation. Not a conversation. You don't even look at it. You don't even entertain that shit. Like seriously. Now, everybody else to me can always be dealt. It's just the way I feel. Um, Overall, though, I think this team is loaded. It's loaded. They could legitimately play 10 off this team. Why? Because they have additional offensive players they've added to the roster, people that could score. See, last year they had no one that could score off the bench. Like nobody. They had nothing off the bench. They were trash off the bench. Now they got some guns that can come off the bench and put the ball in the basket. Now they got some players that can score to give Caitlin a few minutes off and not have to play 36 minutes or 35 minutes a game every flipping game. So those are my thoughts on the Indiana Fever. I think the Indiana Fever is going to be exceptional this year. I've already said it. I think Indiana's going to win the WNBA championship. They went all in, man. They went all in before the CBA. Like we're gonna go for it, and I don't blame them. Go for it. Take that chance. You were 20-20 last year with no bench, and the first 11 games were played in 20 days, mostly on the road, and your team was gassed out and not used to it. Now they get a real camp. Now they get to really play with each other. I'm gonna tell you right now, my record that I had Indiana at is about 38-6. Yes, it might sound crazy to you. I think they're gonna run over people. They're going to run over people. They're going to run teams off the floor. You're going to see blowouts. They're going to blow people out. You will see it. I just, they're loaded. They're loaded. The only teams that can compete with them to me are realistically are the Liberty and the Lynx. I don't think anyone else can really compete with them. And I think they'll run those teams off the floor too. It's gonna be serious. You're gonna have some competitive shit going on, especially when you get to playoff season. But those are my thoughts. Indiana 38-6. Who knows? Maybe better than that. But 38-6 is my bottom number. My bottom number is 38-6 with them because I think they're that good. And anyone that says stuff about, oh, they're playing in bigger facilities on the road, and oh my God, it's gonna be, difficult for them because they're on the road and the crowd will be loud and all that bullshit. No, no, that was Drea Carter who said that dumbass crap on during the Final Four, I think it was, bro, or during the draft. No, sweetheart, they're there to see Indiana. They're not there to see the home team. They're there to see Indiana. Moving to big buildings actually helps Indiana have more fans in the building. It turns that shit into a home game. That is the main reason that you wouldn't have them and you would not have a game in one of those bigger buildings because you damn well know that 75% of people that are coming to watch that game are going to be cheering for the Fever. They know it. They can deny it, but they know it. So yeah, that I found to be kind of ridiculous when Drea Carter said that nonsense during the draft. But you let me know your thoughts. Where do you see Indiana? Let me know. I'm sure people that come out here and say, "Oh, you're a Caitlin beat off," or other ones will say, "Yeah, that's exactly where it should be." Blase, blase. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. By the way, go get your merch. Rudy's Rant, Combat Corner. We're doing it, man. Go check out the merch store. Let me know your thoughts. Appreciate all of y'all. Help us get to 10,000 subscribers. Once again, God bless. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, leave a comment, all that good stuff. I appreciate all of y'all. This is Rudy's Rant. Her game, her way, women's basketball. Come on now.